Oh man, what a mess. What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video, and it's a mess as always. So, I just did a little test sanding on this, and it seems to not be breaking up, so I guess that's good. The reason I say that is because every time I've used like glazing putty, besides like maybe the last time on Callie's car, no matter how long I waited for it to dry, I was using the Bondo brand like way before, and it sucked. Like, no matter how long we waited for it to dry, it would not dry. Like days and days, I'd go to sand it, it would start sanding, and then like a chunk would just come off like it was wet. So that's why I left this stuff overnight. Yeah, today, it's not as cool as I suspected. It's actually super humid, but I'm gonna try and get as much done as I can. I'm gonna jack the car up, take this side skirt off. I'm gonna do that today, I don't care. I'm gonna take the damn side skirt off. I want to check underneath the door as well for rust, and yeah, but my main concern is getting that fixed, and at least its first layer of Bondo over it today, because like I said, that's the biggest uh-oh of the car. So hopefully we can get that sorted out, and I'll have one less giant rust hole in the car, which is the only rust hole. So, well, it's the only rot section. There's little rust holes, obviously, little pinholes and stuff, but that was a rot section. Like all of that was rotted, even underneath the metal, like the layer underneath is rotted. That's why I'm jacking it up and taking the skirt off. All right, well, I'm gonna eat right quick and get started. Got to the shop a little earlier today, so should be good. All right, I got the skirt off, kinda. It's still hanging on by the front mud flap, and it's pulled to the side. Are you guys ready to see the damage? All right, I'll just show you guys. All right, so if you look up there, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good, pretty damn good. Even the side, no rot, no rot, no rot, no rot. Boom! Just as I suspected. Focus. Just as I suspected. Hell yeah. Well, also gotta say that under here isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought I was gonna have to cut all the way back to this, but it looks like I'm just gonna grind down this right here, but this isn't rotted. This is just like, it would have started rotting eventually, but it's not yet. So I could just grind that down and spray paint over it. And yeah, so with this, I'm probably gonna cut right at this line, right up to here. I'll probably just weld a plate over this. And then same right here, I'm going to cut right along that line, weld the plate in, and this I'm just going to cut out. That's probably the other worst part of the car, but surprisingly not too much else. I'm going to grind, obviously I'm going to grind away like stuff like this and make sure that it's alright, and seal it up if I have to, if I get down to clean metal. But other than this and this side of the car seemed to take the brunt of the fuckery. So without further ado, let's get to freaking cutting and welding. Alright, so I ground that down. I'm going to hit it with some rust neutralizer for back in there after blowing it out with the freaking air gun. Get all the rust particles out of there. Rust neutralizer, and then we can start welding the plate over it. And for this, since this is easier to show, what I'm going to do with this is basically, see how there's this lip? So you want to recreate that, obviously, because mine is a little fucked up. So I'm going to cut this out and whatnot, but I'll show you how to recreate this. So I'm going to put this right here, right? And then I'm going to make a mark, right? I'll put an arrow on the screen or something right here. Or I'm going to weld it, and then I'm going to mark it off back there where this line is, right where this cut is. And then cut it. And that's it. Alright? So I know it looks a little intimidating. I know you guys, have been putting off fixing that rust on your car because you're scared of it, but I'm going to show you that it's really not that big of a deal. I'll start right now. So right here, this is my patch, and I'm going to go ahead and tack it on. And remember to tack it on. When you are doing this stuff, I may not be a pro, but I can tell you one thing, do not run a bead. do tacks far apart from each other, because if you run a bead, the stuff is super thin, it'll warp, it'll make bodywork hell. Don't do a bead. Tacks. Alright, so once that's crudely tacked on, and I had to fill a little bit of a gap there at the end, but once it's crudely tacked on, you go ahead and do this. Remember that shit I did before? Take your freaking pliers. You take your hammer. Now you're gonna go ahead and trim this to your liking. I'm gonna go ahead and weld here and here. Yeah, this is gonna take some grinding. Oh yeah, it's gonna take some grinding, but at least we won't have rust. Okay. It's looking utterly atrocious right now, but I have been at this for a solid probably 2 hours now. Still trying my hardest to get this shit done. Not done, but you guys know what I mean. It's a lot of freaking patchwork and a lot of welding to do. So see that giant glob of bullshit right there? The metal was really thin, so every time I welded, it would just poke right through. So I just went around it and just puddled a shit ton of weld on it, and I was gonna Bondo like what was originally there because it wasn't that much, but or at least I thought. But now I'm just gonna take a flap disc and a grinding wheel and just reshape everything with the weld. So I essentially just like made my own sheet metal, I guess you could say. I'm gonna set a goal for myself. Within another 2 hours, I want this to be completely welded and ground down. Alright, it's there, right? I didn't update you guys after I ground it down because I don't have a flap disc. I'm gonna run to Lowe's, get a flap disc, and a grinding wheel probably. Come back, do all that, and then cover the whole damn thing with Bondo, and hopefully get it sanded. But as of right now, all of the patches are on the car. This is why I go to Harbor Freight. Alright, we're back, and I got my $8, almost $9 flap disc. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is start off with the easy shit, and then move on to this. And for the stuff that I can't get with a flap disc, I have a grinding wheel, and I also got some auto primer shit. Yeah, let's start grinding now. Alright, that's it all ground down, ready for freaking Bondo. Yeah, so all the pieces of metal, the patches are all tacked in as many times as I could, and all the rust is ground down inside and out. So now it's literally just Bondo and reshape the whole freaking bottom part of that. But not too shabby, I guess, for limited resources. Yeah, it's a little bit warm. I got the first coat on this thing. This thing should only need 2 coats. It's gonna be the base shape, and then a smoothing coat, and then I'm gonna close the door and forget that this even exists. And yeah, hell yeah, look at that. Starting to look like half decent, you know? That's what I'm doing. I'll see you guys when I go to freaking sand it. I'll time lapse the sanding, but that's it, dude. That's the last straw. I mean, that's the last thing I'm doing. Time lapse, nothing. All right, it's gonna be time lapse of sanding, and then I'm gonna show you the finished friggin' product. All right, I said I would get this shit done today. Look where we are. I don't want to hear shit. All right, this is a lot of freaking work to get done in 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever the hell I've been doing this for. Alright, so that's probably the second to last coat. Went on pretty damn smooth. I'm just kind of trying to cover all bases here. Actually, this is pretty damn close to being smooth, but that is probably the last coat that I'm going to do. Just hit this dent right here. Wasn't a big one, but definitely would have been noticeable. So, yeah. It's weird how, like, first of all, anyone who's, like, pointing out dents in the comments, I appreciate that more than anything. Please keep doing it. But the last two I actually caught while editing. Like, I didn't see it in person, but I'm editing and I'm like, wait a minute, is that a fucking dent? And then I see the comments and I'm like, oh, see, it was a dent. All right, good. I see it while editing. I can't see it during, like, in person. And then when someone comments on it, it reminds me, like, oh shit, I gotta find that dent and I gotta fill it. So thank you to whoever commented about this dent. And I think it was this dent and this one, I think. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was literally both of these. So, you know, without you guys, I probably would not have remembered to do this shit. My goal for today was to get this done, and it is right there. I believe that within an hour, I can have this sanded and primered and probably completed, because that's pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll get back to you guys when I sand or paint that thing. Alright, well there it is for now. Like I said, I just wanted to get this thing like patched up. And by the way, the side skirt's not all the way on right now. It should sit there. And I do have to come out a little bit in the middle. But that's, like, other than that, like, the end is perfect. The front is perfect. Well, not perfect because I still have to do some sanding here. But the middle, I have to come out. You can't really, it's like a shit angle for it. Probably a centimeter, not much more. I might just friggin' pull it a little bit and then Bondo again. But I'd say for all the freaking rust holes that were on this, that's not too bad for freaking 5-6 hours worth of work. Not too freaking bad. I do like that I got the body line pretty damn good. You can see right there it matches up with the door like perfectly. All I gotta do is come out and down a little bit in the middle because it's kind of sloped like this. You know what my problem is? I figured this out. It's because I'm using a soft block. Like, I need a hard block because then when I go over it, I'm not pushing in the middle. It doesn't have any, like, a hard block won't have any give. So it'll be a lot easier to sand shit and keep it even. Yeah. So this is actually like a pre-sandpapered block, but I'm just using it as like a sanding block. But I gotta freaking clean this mess up so Ronnie doesn't come here and have a heart attack. You know, I'm not gonna freaking leave someone else's bay all shitty. Like the video. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you have not, and I will see you guys tomorrow with, I don't know, probably more of this. I'm thankful I have a very small audience of people that are actually intrigued by how this is going to come out. So shout out to you guys. Anyways, peace out.